God first for a change? You are? Oh, no, you're not.
Hello and welcome. No, not yet. Talking to the cloud. There we
Hang
go.
on.
Recording in progress. Hello and welcome. I've dragged myself out of bed. Well, off the
Press
sofa.
record!
Really.
Press record! Oh, you done it, sorry.
Don't I have to do it? I've dragged myself out today because we've got something very special planned. It sort of all come about yesterday. We are doing this podcast, we're going to announce the 2023 awards ceremony that we are doing for electricians. And it's going to be next week's podcast. However, before we get into this, we've got Mark in the house. He's come to join us today. But let's get the sponsors primed and ready. So, electricianspod.shop is owned by yours truly. I sell exclusively Verso gear at the moment. Some of the best gear out there. The fuse boards are very easy to install. Mark's holding up some of the Verso gear. I've got a Verso fuse board there. We're all using Verso. It's good stuff. It's good, affordable electrical stuff, electrical accessories. I'm so tired. Electricianspod.shop.
Show, carry on.
Electricianspod.shop. Please go and check it out. We're finally getting over our stock issues. Things are still taking a little bit of time, but we are getting there.
Well done for getting through that in your tiredness.
I nearly fell asleep.
I'm just making small talk now because I can't find the button for the CHAUVIN. There it is. CHAUVIN ARNOUX are your number one people to go through if you want to measure some electrical stuff. As I was doing this week, using the analyzer to save some money because I could switch stuff on and watch the load go up. And I also saw a few other people using CHAUVIN stuff this week for exactly the same reasons. You can't see electricity unless you speak to CHAUVIN ARNOUX. If they nick that as a tagline, I want some money for it because I think that's particularly good. Yeah, but if you want to see electricity and deal with that maths and do all that funky stuff, they're the people to go and see and give them a shout if you need anything like that.
Excellent. So let's get down to the news today because obviously we always like to do a little bit of a news segment. Mark,
if I can be asked to write it, of course.
Well, do you know what it is, right? We do this on a Sunday, and it's like it's got to be the worst day to get organised on because you leave everything to the last minute because you got that Monday feeling, ain't you?
You know, last week we went into a big load of bonfire. We weren't going to be regular on a Sunday. Then the next week we just here on a Sunday. I know it happens, but yeah, good planning on our part.
No, do you know what it is though? Because you finally pulled your finger out and stopped being lazy.
I'm getting there. I'm still in the garage, as you could probably tell. Although Oprah on a movie,
but you've been a little bit of a baby lately, haven't you?
I've been working. I'm not working away this weekend, which is a first. Well, if you don't like it, I'll just fuck off. No, not really. Right, anyway, let's do the news before we all fall out of each other. I don't know what order this is coming in, and I don't know if any of you know what's going off. So, number one. Oh, he's not picked the first because I've just realised I've overwritten the news. I had a bit of a hoo-ha with NAPIT training this week on social media. Someone messaged me and says, I did my battery course 5 months ago. Still not got a certificate. What do you reckon about that? So I just shared it because I think that's not acceptable. I've been told by
isn't there a reason why? Mark, you can talk to this.
That's why I've got Mark on. So he can tell us the proper bit.
We had our certificates delayed a while ago now. I think it was a bit of an issue towards the start of this year where there was a delay with the BPEC cert, something to do with external verifiers and stuff. But we had Matty's delayed as well because he didn't send in his prerequisite qualifications. They want to see all your quals and stuff before they'll issue you the certificates. So that was the delay on that one. That was his fault to a point.
But wouldn't you have that? Like, why would you let someone take the test if they ain't got the right gear?
Yeah, I mean that's the question. Money. If you've not done it, I think a lot of these online courses, you know, when you're ordering on the internet, it's hard to prove someone's quals, isn't it? Because you can just go and click the button, pay your grand, book your course. So it's how you prove that at the point of sale, I guess.
The bit I've got to add is, ironically, the day he moaned, the certificate turned up the next day, but it did take 5 months. So all I'm saying is, there's 2 parts to this story, yeah? First of all, NAPIT did deliver them, and I put out at the end, did actually come that day, but I think 5 months is a long time. First point is, NAPIT, take your COVID-19 policy off your website, yeah? It's 2023. We're trying to forget about it. That's my first point. The second point is, it's not just NAPIT. No matter what trainer you're going to use, when they're giving you all the spiel about the best things since sliced bread and how much they are and how good the training is and all that shit, just message them in an email and say, what do you need off me? and how long will the certificate take?
So
Then
is this a case of like not due diligence,
due
like,
diligence, yeah.
no, taking responsibility,
After-
ownership.
You know, if you just go and do the course, get the money, then afterwards start moaning, which is, to be fair, what the guy did, what he'd
Yeah.
done, because he didn't know any better, then he starts going, well, where's the certificate? They go, it takes a while. All you need to do is email and go, what do you need off me? And how long do you expect the certificates to take? Do it to your trainers. If someone comes back with a quicker time, they're the people to go with, aren't they? I know from training myself, it does take a couple of months at least to get it externally verified and that, but just a word of warning to everyone, that one is, that this can happen. If you're riding on a job waiting for that certificate, it might not get to you before you think it does.
My light's acting like a disco in here.
Maybe it's got COVID-19 off the NAPIC website.
Probably. Is that going to stay like that or not?
This one's from
I'm not
Mark.
even looking at the chat. What is going on?
Mark will tell us about this one. The IT have released a standard on open pen conductors.
Oh, not this shit again. Honestly.
Absolutely.
This is for Sam. They've done it especially for Sam, I think, because they know he enjoys standards.
This was such a palaver last time.
Well, this is
the IET have never done a standard of their own. This is their first one. This is standard 01. All the other stuff is guidance, or it's got BSI behind it, hasn't it? Usually, when you've got a standard, this is a faster way of doing that. So
have you read it?
Yeah, I've read the draft public comment. There's a few things in there. They're asking us to help them at the end of the day. They want Sparks to read it, see what we think, and input back for them to try and make it a bit better.
It is free because it's a draft book for public comment. It's free. You can download it. You can help them fix it. Then later on, they'll charge you for it. So read it while it's free. Yeah. Is it useful though? Did you find it useful as a read? Because I know you're into a bit of this stuff.
I mean, it is, yeah, because usually you have to get your certificate of conformity or whatever they call it, don't they? And that's from the manufacturer. They can just write a little cert that says, yeah, our charger ticks that box, and we've got to take that at face value. The IET are actually defining what is meant by that and how these things do have to be tested and the standard they have to meet. So I think it's a good thing.
Listen, having someone set a standard,
manufacturing instructions, don't we?
Yeah, but having someone set a standard for any sort of practice that we do in the electrical industry is never a bad thing. And considering it's free and whatever,
no,
it's still not a bad thing. But even if it was a nominal fee, like a tenner for it or something, like in the grand scheme of things, is that a big deal?
No, probably not. I think it will end up being free as a standard itself.
It makes improvements, doesn't it?
And really, that's like, they're the only sort of overseers of the industry, really, aren't they? They sort of, yeah, they're really the only overseers of our industry. Without the IET, it's a Wild West, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're ones
it'd
with
be
their
nice
logo
if they took a bit more charge, to be honest.
Yeah, but again, it's not that type of outfit. It's like a techie, geeky little outfit that looks at all the different possibilities of the electrical things that can go wrong and comes up with, if you do this like this, you should avoid a catastrophe. So when you've got shit like that, I don't have a problem with it. A bit of good, healthy, good, orderly guidance is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean,
while it's free.
Boring.
We moan, don't we, when industry don't give a flying, you know what, about Sparks doing the day-to-day work, and when they're coming up with something that might actually help us, I think show a bit of support, read it, see what we think, feedback, and yeah, get involved.
Do I have to read it, or can I just ask you to summarise it?
10%
I phoned Bundy the other day.
Will read that. 10% of the Sparks will read it.
I had to phone Bundy the other day because neither of you two dickheads would answer. So I phoned Bundy for some technical advice on. Well, someone had installed their own electric vehicle charger, and they just wanted me to put it away for them in the board.
Bad idea.
Why? I ain't giving them a certificate for it.
You are? Really? That's what they want you to do?
It just literally wanted me to put the ends away in the board. Didn't know how to do that. I was like, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, I ain't giving you no certificate. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just putting it in the board for you. And he's like, all right, sweet. Oh, that's sweet. £100. So that's fine. But he had bought an RCD. Where's Jamie gone? He'd bought an RCD instead of a.
I've got a lag. I've got a terrible lag here. I'm struggling to see you.
Yeah. So he bought an RCD instead of an RCBO, and I wasn't sure what type went in went in for a EV charger. I can't even talk. I'm so tired and so rough today. I can't even talk. When has that ever been a thing? But anyway, it's a Type A BG Fortress board.
Listen to you
you got it,
guru. You'll be on about.
What'd you put? Did you slap an outdoor one in, did you?
What? I didn't. All I done, I just put a Type A.
An outdoor board in.
Yeah, put an outdoor BG board. No, it was a BG Fortress, and I went down the road to Tool Station. They got them on the shelves, the Type A's on the shelves, which is pretty decent to be fair. So shout out to Tool Station for that. Outside of that though, I know it's probably a bit wank to do what I've done.
That's all the shit houses that Fit EV get from.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I was in a bit of a moral quandary whether to do it or not. But I mean, I'm not giving them a certificate for it. I explained the risks of me doing it like this, and he still wanted it done. What do? Do you just walk away? Yeah, and this is my question for today.
At the end of the day, if a customer says, I want it covered in strawberry jam, then you do it, don't you?
Do you though? Do you though? Like,
you can do it.
I think there's
customers always right, aren't there?
No. What's your opinion, Marco?
It's how far you take it, isn't it? Because what we're going to let them wire up their houses and then just drop everything in the consumer unit and turn everything on. You know, it's the same sort of thing. We have never got involved in that. If customers have done any sort of electrical work, or we won't do it. But I get your quandary, Sam. Definitely, when you're trying to make a living, you want the job done and a bit of money in your pocket. No judgment from me.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of judgment. But be honest, because I don't know whether I'd do it again. Like, because I went away thinking, shit, that wasn't good. Like, I don't know if I want to run my business like that. I don't know if I ever want to get involved in that sort of thing again.
The good thing is, if the guy gets killed or anything, it's only an EV owner, so no real person lost, is there?
But listen, right?
I've got this one. Hang on.
Hold on. What could go wrong? Not a lot. I'll put the end.
No, it's only got a separate book because it's so dangerous.
No, but hold on. I've put the ends away. I checked the other end. What like how much worse can it be? Put the right breaker in there. It's fitted to manufacturer's instructions. What?
I mean, electrically, you're probably fine, aren't you? You've done a good job, but you know, it's underselling yourself more than anything. I can understand why you'd think walking away from that, you don't want to do it maybe again in the future. You'd rather be providing a service to install a whole EV charge point, surely.
Listen, it was a case where he said, "Oh, I've got." He phoned me up and he said, "I've got a I've put something in my house and I just need it put away into an RCD." And I was like, "I'll come and have a look." Anyway, I got there and it was some EV cable, and I was like, "Where's this go?" So I went out to the box. Very simple. That's all fine. I thought, what? Why can't I do this?
Sometimes we overthink it, don't we? Brian's just said in the chat he'd have only gone somewhere else and got someone else to do it. At least you've done it properly and it's safe for them to use. So it's all well and good saying, you know, well, we shouldn't do that because we're sort of selling ourselves short. But ultimately, that sort of person is going to get it done by someone, aren't they? That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to do that sort of shit again. But it's funny, isn't it? Like, when you're house bashing, like on a domestic level, there's a lot of different scenarios that are thrown up that just leave you in this funny sort of space where you're like, fucking probably shouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? It's not going to burn down. It's not going to kill no one because, you know, I've checked it over. I kind of know what I'm doing, you know, been about enough to know. I've wired up a lot more juicier stuff than that. Do you know what I mean? From scratch. So I'm sure it'd be fine. I just don't know. It's quite interesting how many different problems and scenarios get thrown at you as a self-employed electrician. It's a lot more difficult than just being a site bod. It's really difficult.
you got the moral call to make on all of your work that you're doing, and you do take some of it home sometimes, worrying if you've done the right thing. Have you made a mistake? Is there something that's going to go wrong? I take those worries home still today, running my own business, double and triple checking stuff in your mind. It's easy done.
I don't know. To be honest with you, it's putting it in a 40-amp breaker, putting a posh socket in a fucking 40-amp breaker. I don't really see the problem. Like when I really go
What's
over it logically, where's the issue? Where's the issue?
If you tightened it all up right and put them in the right way and not got your polarity wrong way around, you're laughing.
Jamie's gone. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not something I would do again, but it has left me in a bit of a moral quandary. And if this show is anything, it is honest. And I like to be honest, and I like to talk about the journey that we have.
I mean, yeah, people will cover up on social media what they have actually been doing. Like say, don't share stuff like that out that you've done things like that. But it's not real, then, is it? You're sharing your truth, and you're not afraid of it. And I think there's a lot of respect should come back to you for that, because you do share everything, warts and all.
Yeah, but what's going to happen? Nothing. It's not going to burn down. It's absolutely fine. I've done a good job, like I do all the time. I'm like one of the highest rated on Nextdoor app now.
Whoa,
for customer service.
Someone messaged me about that. You know what badge you got?
Yeah.
Everyone got one. Someone messaged me the other day on Instagram. They gave them out to everyone.
No, they didn't.
They did. He sent me a picture of his. They gave it to everyone. It was marketing. So
they didn't.
I had to dive out there because the lag eyed was incredible and I couldn't hear what was going on. Right, I'm going to move this news on to number 2. I'm going to read a bit on this one. This is unusual for us. This is serious news. So it says electrical sector feels the shortage by. I'm going to try and read this because this is quite interesting.
No, I don't.
Well, the ECA have obviously done is it quarterly trend survey?
Yeah, but
a third of respondents said their business turnover had dropped, blah, 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 blah. Nearly 2 in 5 respondents, 38%, cited labour shortages as the biggest threat to their business. Other major concerns include delays to projects. The response who currently have vacancies in their business, those vacancies were blamed on pay and expectations being too high, 57%. Applicants lacking insufficient skills, 46%, and an insufficient number of applicants. What I would say is the only people to blame for this are the fucking industry themselves. Like for not offering up
bollocks, Jamie.
Years ago.
No, it's bollocks. I'll tell you why that's absolute bollocks.
Why is it bollocks?
Pay and expectation is too high. What do you mean? What? Sorry, I've been an electrician for 20 years. No, I don't want to come and work for your shit firm for 43 grand a year and a company car and a laptop and a mobile and all that other fucking bullshit. Oh, and uniform you get as well. Stick that up your
when they go,
stick your fucking shit van up your ass that's going to break down every 3 weeks. Don't want your shitty mobile phone because you're going to charge me if I go over the minutes.
Yeah.
You're tight arseholes and you've got the stingiest contracts. You're going to give me a 15-year-old laptop and expect me, if that breaks, expect me to buy a new one out of my wages. I'll go for a speeding camera. You're going to make me...
Who have you been working for?
The whole lot
allegedly.
is just it's an absolute fuckery to steal your life force. That's all they're doing is stealing your life force.
Mate, they ring
Forget
you and they
that
go,
shit.
You get ages ring, they go, oh, there's perks, there's a mobile phone, a fuel card, a van. I'm like, yeah, what are the perks of me? They're just you've got
a fuel card. You got a fuel card, but you can't use it for personal miles because it comes tracked.
I got to admit at my place where I currently am for now, we do get to use the fuel for free, but it is tracked. But they've never asked anyone, never bothered anyone. Some places are good.
You go, oh, we've got a company van. I need to go and pick up a motorbike in Cardiff. Just use a company van. Don't worry about it.
My firm, to be fair, would let me do that, but I know a lot of firms wouldn't. They'd be
a lot of firms don't. And then you drive it, and they're like, "Where are you going?" I'll go and pick up a motorbike. Why are you in a works van? We're going to charge you 50p a mile now. Well, I might as well rent a van, you dickheads.
I believe this though. I'll just go through that bit again for so I get one. 57% of people are expecting better wages than they're going to get. 46 are underskilled and insufficient applicants 41. That's the industry's fault. They've not trained enough people for so long. The ECA members should know better. They're the ones that haven't been doing proper apprenticeships.
There's plenty of sparks out there.
Yeah, shit ones who've done 5-day courses.
There's plenty of sparks out there who've been in the game a long while that would happily listen. I've worked in circles where agency circles and stuff where you've got You've got people desperate to get off the agency circuit, do whatever they can
till they get off it and they hate it.
Yeah, but you jump out of that agency circle, and all of a sudden it's not a land of milk and honey. Like, the agency circle is dead to the soul. However, when you jump out of it and you go into, I don't know, PAYE, it's just as dead to the soul as well. You're still just a number. In fact, you are just a bit more of an important number than you was as an agency worker. There's no real perks. You're earning a lot less money, and it's fucking crap.
We could do a whole pod on what do you think the wage for a spark should be, couldn't we? Really?
Yeah, but it's got to be 50 grand minimum.
I'd be inclined to agree with you, but only at a certain age. Like, at work, I've lads in the 20s wanting as much money as me. I'm like, got fucking 20 years of you, mate. Like, I was wiping
but
the
you
butt
can't think
before
like
you was born.
You can't think like that. The deal you make is a deal you make, right? So if you go into a place and you make a deal, and it turns out that everyone's made a better deal than you can't be like, well, I'm better than him. He's making more. No, you make the deal, dickhead.
I'm just saying, though, why would you give a spark 20 years younger than somebody paying 50 grand? You've got the problem in this game is there's loads of people, young people now, see everything on Instagram, want instant results, and you can't have it. You got to work you up the ladder, ain't you?
Absolutely.
And the ladder's not there. There's no hierarchy. But you see people who qualify sparks go and do a GIB, go and do a 2391, pass it just, get the approved when they're 21. They fucking wank. You know what I mean?
Here's the other thing as well.
Let's let Mark have a go. Go on, Mark. You have a go. Because he's chilling away there.
It just seems like the ECA employers maybe don't see the value of electricians in the modern world. I think they're not prepared to pay the money that properly skilled people are worth. That's what ultimately that article's saying, isn't it? We don't think people are worth paying 50,
they're working
60,
on,
whatever
grand
a year. We want some more cheaper labour that we can pay less because we think that's what it is. But market will always dictate value, and that's just the way it works in a capitalist system, isn't it? So if the rates are going higher because there's not enough skilled people out there, if that's what these surveys are saying, then they're going to have to pay more money.
But how long has there been a skill shortage for? And the money ain't gone up, bruv.
Does everyone agree here, though, there is a skill shortage? Do we all agree there's a skill shortage?
No.
You don't?
No.
At the top end there is, I think.
No.
I think there is.
I don't.
But it's maybe not as widespread as we are led to believe. And some of that is probably to try and suppress wages. Maybe not electricians, but certainly electrical engineering, the higher level roles. They're short because no one's moving up, because the trade's full of people that have changed trade and want to be arse bashers. And
that's not true, man. Listen,
that's what I see, though. I see that every day.
In London, there's a pool of maybe fucking 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 sparks, gold card sparks.
Yeah,
been on the tools 15 years minimum. Thousands of them in London.
Yeah,
just fucking humping from one shit job to another, moaning all day long.
Yeah, but as I was saying, if you progress to go on, go and be a BMS engineer, go and specialise in something or other.
You say that
those trades are short because no one wants to go and specialise.
That might be a good point, right? I think you're probably right with the specialising shout. You're definitely right with it.
And do you know why? Because, initially when you specialise, you have to take a pay cut, and no one wants to do it. Even though the rewards will be greater, no one wants to see that little dip.
I don't know if it's about want, right? I'll be honest, look, what is this, a fucking therapy session for me? I'm going to be honest with you.
Every week, same time.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on my ass, yeah? On my ass, right? Like, I'm so fucking on my ass, I can't even explain to you, right? Even though everything's been going fine, we've only been breaking even. So we've got no sort of extra money. Like, it's been nice, 5-6 weeks of decent work, breaking even, a little bit of extra, but not enough to fucking write home about. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I ain't got thousands in the bank. I ain't even got hundreds in the bank right now. So we're working from job to job at the moment. So how do I, in your fucking wisdom of fucking specialising, what? And there's fucking thousands of people like me at the moment, thousands of people, where work hasn't been consistent for a year since. Why'd
you go on like I ain't suffered
November,
this same thing
December? So November, December, right? November, December last year was when we started seeing like a massive drop off, right? Certainly where I am. And then this year, so the first 4 months of this year, there's hardly anything about. and was waiting for April to come because you think, oh, new tax year, everyone's going to have dough and be spending. That didn't happen this year. And it's been flat for the whole year.
Well, fucking specialise then. Why not to fucking get niche? People go on because you
no, but you're saying that like it's just an easy jump. It's not an easy jump.
I'm not though. I've fucking been in my ass, right? I've been here before when I've been specialised in production machinery. Owed nothing, eating fucking microwave rice mixed with lime pickle, yeah, because can't afford any other food. I didn't say it was fucking easy. I just said you need to do it like no one. We didn't get into the internet. People just assume because you're a specialist contractor, you're fucking raking it in. Well, I have been, but I also spend a lot on tools. I didn't say it was easy. People don't do things because they are easy. People should do things because they are hard. And if you want to be comfort, walk around in your slippers, bashing ass all day long, and you're scared to go and upskill, maybe you deserve to fucking fail or just be steady for the rest of your life. Like, it doesn't, you've got to take an initial court, you've got to go and retrain, you've got to go and retool, but the rewards can be there if you can be asked. You
can specialise in all sorts of places, even in house bashing. You look at Jamie at Home Rewire, and what you've mentioned him before on the podcast.
Just speed.
If you refine any area of this industry to something that you are good at and you can repeat consistently to a good quality, then there is money to be made. But it's finding that niche and going through the growing pains to get there. It's not easy. I went to the ECN Awards this last week.
I had to show that, didn't you?
Well, it was more to speak about some of the people who were up for Contractor of the Year. So there was like a category under 5 million turnover and another one for over 5 million. And there were so many contractors in there who were sort of doing between 2 and 5 million a year. They've got maybe 6 to 10 people on their books. And I was looking at them thinking, these lads are all so young. I was thinking like they're in their early 20s, but they're not. They're early 30s. I'm just getting old in this industry now, which was a bit of pill to take. But yeah, they're all absolutely smashing it in various little areas of industry, some of them doing solar, some of them doing renewable stuff, so they're tying their business up with heat pumps, others in new build, others in commercial and industrial. So the success for people is still out there. It can be done. It was quite inspiring to see so many of them all together at once.
I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying you can be in such a hole that the very thought of doing anything other than panicking to get yourself out of this hole is all encompassing. And it's all good. Like, we have not had any sort of extra money this year. I had planned to have my 2391 this year,
which I keep telling you to do, which was my next subject.
£2,000 and a week off work.
Fuck off, you get it for less than. I've seen it advertised for £900. We used to do it where I used to work for £900. If you did that, you could do landlord reports stuff, couldn't you? You'd have another string to your bow. But there's no point going,
listen, I have to do it. But even £900 might as well be £90,000 right now to me.
Yeah, well, we fucking hell, speculating to accumulate this thing, you know. I have literally been on my arse.
I cannot speculate with buttons, dickhead.
Credit! Fucking hell! Get some
I ain't got no credit. We've used it all this year, you lunatic.
Even Alan Sugar fucking borrowed money to buy the first TV rolls. Go to offer someone advertising here. You got to hustle. I thought he was the king of the fucking hustle. This is taking
fucking
too long
nuts.
anyway.
I'm not doing any more advertising. I cannot be bothered.
Right, last bit of news. Yeah. City guilds get a load of money off the government to spunk on shit. I can't be asked to go into it properly.
I'm going to work for city and guilds.
The rumour is
Nixon government money.
The rumour is the government has dished out a load of cash to certain traders. I think apparently City Guilds, or as the sausage factory it was called. What was it called? Trade Skills for You.
Yeah.
Apparently they're going to get a load of it. I'm just trying to nip it in the bud before it becomes a news thing because we found out about it first. But yeah, this is going to be used to train 5-day bore in the bag sparks on renewables, I think. And then they're going to take all.
It's definitely for renewables. 100%.
Then they're going to take all our work. But apparently, the skill shortage requires the government to pump the money in. Makes you wonder why City Guilds bought a trading firm, really, like they knew it might be coming. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. That's
not a good look. If that's an actual thing, that will be very sketchy.
There's a load of. This is just me fucking like saying, I don't know, UFOs are, yeah. There's a load of government money coming to upskill people that aren't qualified to do our jobs. Trade Skills for You, or whatever they fucking called this week, having a big old slab of that, and City Guilds just bought them. I thought City Guilds, as I've said before, were the bastard of the training. Turns out they're just a bunch of money-grabbing pricks, allegedly. That's my thoughts.
It sounds like a liberty going on. But they like the government have set themselves these silly targets for net zero and shit like that, and all this sort of this drive to be, I don't know, off grid and stuff like that, which is great, and it's a great concept. But rolling it out nationwide and getting enough of the infrastructure in place, and by infrastructure I mean people to be able to do the work to a decent level.
Yeah,
you're not just going to rush it through. Like with anything like
they
this,
can rush it through for me, but I'll stamp after that now. Yeah, people that set this training framework should not be able to deliver training for reward and make money for the people that are involved. I just think it's a real piss take. Absolutely. I was sitting guilds all over now. I just can't stand the cunts. Sorry, I said cunts. So, just really riles me up that.
Another strike this week.
Oh, well, never mind. At least I got it off the system.
Are we actually going to talk about the awards today?
That's why I was pushing this one through. But sitting guilds, if you want to come and defend yourself, don't bother. It won't have you on anyway, you bunch of assholes.
It's the single greatest awards in the industry of the electrical sector ever.
Right, hang on, because the graphics aren't on the button, so I've got to do it manually. Right. Sam,
what I will say is, there's a couple of categories in this that I think are the most prestigious in the industry.
We're talking about this like we've announced it. Sam, do you want to announce what's going on? And I'll put the
So we are doing the Electricians Podcast Awards 2023. It's going to be silly as we are. However, we've already done some nominations. We've been talking about some of the things, some of the categories and stuff like that we're adding to it. And I do really believe that some of our categories are the most meaningful, because I would dare to say us three might be the most plugged into the industry in terms of between us. We have our fingers in a lot of different holes. And really, we know we're on the pulse.
Genuinely as well, Sam caught this when he was drunk, I think, and now we're doing it. We're going to wrap the whole lot up in a week because we're not going to drag it out like the rest of them do. We're not going to sell you a dinner night and get all your mates to come for money. It's literally, we've done a bit of plodding around in the background. We've come up with some categories. We're going to give it a week and take feedback from the audience and the general electrical trades. Then we're going to bang it out next week.
Yeah. And so let's get out the categories, mate.
Well, I've added a few. I don't know if you know, but I'll do the ones you decided on. I've added a couple. So we've got...
Right. So between me, Jamie, and Mark, we come up with these categories. So I'll read them out quickly. Spark of the Year. Now, that is the most prestigious category. And I really think that whoever gets that is genuinely rated by our trade.
Just to
and
say
by
as well,
people who matter, which are other electricians.
Just to say, yeah, this isn't a fuck around. Today, I've purchased the trophies that you will get sent.
And I am going to be working this week towards getting some sort of other prizes involved. So
the trophies are a sight to behold. They're nice.
If there's any company out there who want to sponsor the pod, want to get sponsor this particular upcoming pod, so we can get some really good prizes out and do the best job we can, my doors are open to you for one podcast.
And obviously by doing that, you will remove yourself from a couple of categories you might not want to be in.
Exactly. So, so the next one is the best product of the year. That again, coming from Sparks, who are using it, who are on the tools, who are knee deep in it. That's quite a prestigious award.
We want a bit. If any of these, message Sam, message Mark, message me. Use the pod phone and the number up in the chat. Yeah. We might have missed something obvious. If you got a product like this is banging, let us know. Yeah, we might have missed something obvious. We've had a bit of a swizz around in the background, but we're not totally sure yet.
Innovation of the year is a third one. I really like that one because I think there's a lot of quite innovative things out there. People were squibbling away in the background trying to make things to make our lives easier. And I really do think there's some good innovations that have come through this year. Number 4 is best brand of the year. So a brand so the criteria is basically a brand that's done something for the industry, whether it's making excellent products, whether it's contributing to charity or anything like that. A best brand of the year, that's quite a prestigious one. Bell End of the Year award. We're talking. It wouldn't be the Electricians Podcast without that, because someone's got to get it. I've already nominated my person.
There's some competition for that as well. That's a
some
sought after
competition.
category.
That's
the only category as well where whether you like it or not, I'll send you the trophy. You're getting it. Registered post.
Then you've got the best YouTube of the year. Obviously, we're discounted from it. Me, Mark, and Jamie are discounted from it because otherwise it'd be rigged. And it's definitely not going to be one of the. It's not going to be anyone who's
big time.
Yeah.
We're looking
below the radar.
Yeah. Worst customer service. I've already got my nomination for
Sponsored by Hager.
And then the most boring topic, which is I already know what that is. Jamie saying he's an engineer.
Obviously, we can't win because we're the thing. Because that's 8 awards, I had to add 2 because I had to buy 10 trophies. So I've added these in the end. We've got the worst product, sponsored by BG Lasico, obviously for their outdoor fuse board. Or as I like to call it, the Outdoor Fuse Board Award. They can't win. And the most annoying advertiser of the year award.
These are the Jamie awards, okay?
I had to buy 10 trophies, so I'm going to stick them in. And again, these 2 particular categories, if you win, you're getting the trophy, whether you like it or not. It's coming to you, registered post out of my pocket. So yeah, that's where we're at.
This is what I have to deal with, right? I'm trying to do a serious awards and it comes along with these big trophies. It's ridiculous.
Someone's already commented that David Savory should get the best customer service award with Karen.
Well, listen, it's quite hard. Like, do you know what I mean?
Can he? What I think we're omitting any regular players, aren't we? We're omitting regular podcast players because we don't look like we're giving it to ourselves. So
yeah,
David Savory cannot win anything. He is a winner in life in general.
Well, maybe he can.
Well, yeah, maybe we'll make up a drunken award for him or something. But yeah, I think the YouTube one. I think he's already a big player. Let's look at the tiddlers and obviously Karen might come back around if he kicks off again with that.
No, man. So it's something I've sort of thought about for quite a few years. And listen, why are we thinking we're important enough to give out awards?
Well, why do any of them?
We're not. But we're just doing it because we want to do it and because it's a fun thing to do.
I've put the most annoying advertising. Some of the chats put Tradify, which obviously they're going to be in the running, but it is the most annoying advertising, and I want to know why. Not the company. The most annoying advertising and why that is annoying to you.
Well, it's got to be the company as well, you idiot. Someone's got to win it. It can't just be like the trophy goes to, I don't know, spamming advertising. Because who are you going to send it to, you prick?
Yeah, no, I do like that ones. I'm really loving the ones on YouTube at the minute. Will go, Jeff is a jet engine scientist and he got fed up of paying over the odds for his electrical heating and he's invented a new heater. I just put on Instagram about this actually. He's like, mate, electric heating's 100% efficient already. You can't make it any more efficient. But there's these wicked, if you ever see one on YouTube, it would be like, he was a boy from the streets of Brazil and he got sick of paying for light. So he invented a new light that uses no energy. You'll see one over YouTube. They absolutely make me howl because they just don't work. But yeah, if anyone sees that, they're there.
There's a lot of those things kicking about at the moment, like perpetual motion machines and stuff.
And YouTube are forcing me to watch adverts. But all the adverts, if there were decent adverts, decent products, won't mind, but they're all cons like that. Every single one of the ones I get.
Pay for the fucking YouTube subscription, you cheap cunt.
No. Just FYI for anyone, download Brave browser.
Brutal put down.
Did you see as well? Oh my God. Use Brave browser. I was going to tell people this. If you like watching YouTube, like watching David Savory do whatever he does or whatever, and you don't like adverts, there's a browser called Brave Browser. Download it. It copies all your shit from Google, and you don't have to watch adverts. It's absolutely fantastic.
I'm just Joe.
There's people voting in the comments already for
what is that?
Well, categories.
Let's engage with them.
Bristol Sparks getting a lot. GSH.
Bristol Sparks good. Like Bristol Spark.
Bell End of the Year's had a nomination or 2.
I just want to say sorry for the language tonight.
Oh fuck it! Should have a swearing on. Bollocks.
Are you gonna throw out the feedback request from your audience for the 3 little categories that I'd suggested on our chat for the best guest of the year on your show?
We didn't want to be self-prefacatory.
The favourite podcast and the best host meltdown.
You know what? I'd be very surprised if I'd be very surprised if a particular podcast we've done this year stands out in anyone's memory, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
You might be surprised. You might be surprised. If anyone is watching this and you're on the old YouTube comments, drop them in and I've got a little gift that I can share out for anyone if you want to pick someone next week during the award ceremony.
Have we got
someone who's
ourselves any
made a
real
bit of an effort?
Last year
I'm
we
going
did
to
that.
make a concerted effort this week to get some free shit.
Last year we did a Christmas special. That sort of the time. Have we got any? Have we caused any real trouble since then?
Any what?
You two caused real trouble. You caused trouble every bloody week.
Unilight was the year before. What's happened since last Christmas? Have we got anything particularly wrong? Oh, that guy kicked off at me. He was going to sue me on LinkedIn because I said because he had water in a ball or something. But other than that, I can't think of anything we've done. Or do we do it so often I forget?
Yeah, but like every week, Jamie, you had about 5 or 6 weeks on the trot where you was just off on everyone.
You were arguing about steel wire armor landing last week between yourselves.
I had a guy message me actually on Instagram because I used his picture off LinkedIn of like he'd used plastic white trunking outside. On it, don't know if anyone else noticed this, yeah? If anyone has seen me on Instagram, that's what I was on about, right? So you get these EV battery, I don't know, solar installs, yeah? They love white plastic trunking.
They love white plastic trunking.
Fair enough. Inside of the garage on a fireball, it does look pretty savvy and it's all good, yeah? Now, this job, this guy messaged me says, why are you using my pictures? Like, well, you put it on the internet, mate. But my point was, the actual work was neat and tidy, but it was using white plastic trunking outside. Well, is it just me? White plastic trunking ain't for outside. It's just going to look wank in a year. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with the work. In the garage, it would have been fine, but it was outside. It says, look, mate, it's outside. You got it wrong. But there seems to be a lot of stuff like that going off at the minute with people. And I'm not always calling them out to be an arsehole. I'm trying to say, mate, that's wrong. Is that not okay?
I think your point about this outside trunking, I think you're on a loser. I think you fucked up here because I don't think it's that bad.
Well, no, it doesn't look. But
I don't think it's going to crack. I don't think it's going to crack. And
it fucking is.
Well, fucking the stinking guttering don't crack every 2 minutes, does it?
Well, that's because it's made for our size. It's guttering, but general electrical plastic.
I bet it's the same plastic, bruv.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out because someone will send me one of them falling apart if it falls apart.
Mark,
same as all your outdoor fuse boards. They're going to kill you.
Mark's a solar expert.
Yeah, that's what
it's not something I'd install outside, but I don't know if it's going to fall apart into pieces. I guess in cold it's going to get brittle, isn't it? And then in the sun it's going to harden up and crack and decolor. It's not going to look very good, having been out in the sun for a while. But
it's going to go yellow, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, what's the alternative? Are we going to start using steel containment outside around all this stuff?
Most people can't do it properly.
I think that's just
what you'll see. What you'll see with that is people landing into the top of it with water getting in the trunking, water getting in on all the accessories. I think we've seen examples of that already, actually, from other people's efforts at bits and pieces outside with solar gear.
I mean, it's a tough one installing anything electrical outside, isn't it? It
really is.
On mine, I've just got everything's floating. I put everything in the right place so that I could have loops between stuff, and I set it out before I did it.
So you put your stuff outside.
My batteries,
my
batteries outside. My BG Lasico fuse board's outside, of course. My solar, my inverter's outside. It's all outside, but I didn't use a containment because containment will hold cables, but it will also hold water. So
you put drill holes in it. I only learned about drill holes about a year ago. Like when you're installing anything outside, you put a little piss hole in it.
I do know actually from when I visited Centaur that they make their trunking out of chopped up double glazing windows, like recycling them. So surely if they've been outside as windows forever, they'll be fine rehashed up as a bit of trunking.
Windows don't last as long as people think, do they? They go manky.
Yeah, the glass and the airtightness of the glass goes manky.
No, the plastic does, but obviously that's a lot thicker plastic, isn't it? I don't know, but
yeah, it is a lot.
Maybe I'll ring Marshall Tuttle this week and ask him because I just think it looks a bit shit. I think it's going to go yellow. It's going to go brittle. I can't say how it won't. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the arsehole. If you think I'm,
I've got white guttering. I've got white guttering, and that ain't yellow.
Essex in it, white guttering. See down that way.
It's not. It's
white jeans and white guttering.
It's Kent, first of all.
Same thing. Essex.
And I've got white guttering, and I know for a fact that's not yellow.
Bobcat said it's got plasticizer in it, and UPVC hasn't, so it fades and goes brittle in the sun. Trunking should not be outside.
I personally, I agree. Like putting trunking outside is a gash. But what is the other option? Like, what do you build a little shed outside and put it all in?
Just free float it. But it's like polystyrene. Yeah, it's 2023. Polystyrene still can't go near twin Earth. Yeah, They just don't like each other. Aluminium, copper don't like each other. It's just some things people don't know. You put polystyrene into an earth, it's going to fuck it in about 6 months. They leach off each other. It's just one of the things. I don't think people are being malicious. I don't think people are trying to do a shit job.
No, I don't. I
just
don't know what
think...
the alternative is. Say you've got a whole kit and caboodle outside. What do? Build a shed to put it all in, so it's actually compliant.
If you actually read a lot of the inverter manufacturers' instructions, they will say they want them under a shelter. So under some sort of canopy, either tight up under the eaves, which is when you see some of these lashed-in jobs on terraced houses where they put it literally under the gutter of the first floor window, or to put some sort of like, I don't know, bike store cover over the top, just some sort of shelter.
Here's me talking all like being moral and ethical, and like, I'm slinging in people's EV chargers for £100. Don't worry about it. Next, I'll be hooking up the local traveller site, digging up the ground and fucking.
Well, he wanted the supply coming from a local lamppost, and I couldn't tell him he was wrong, couldn't I? So, but yeah, I don't think people in Michigan just think there's a little bit to learn, and the problem is, I'm willing to say on the internet what I think, and it takes 5-10 years to be proved right or wrong, doesn't it? So.
No, but if I was going to, like, I have plans, but I have no money for these plans. But I have plans with, like, my front garden's quite a lot bigger than my back garden, with the driveway is. And at the end, I'm going to build like a
solar array
carport, and then have the solar panels on top of it, and then all the electricals, all the other shit underneath it.
Then you'll be on here every week telling us your carport's fucking 100% renewable or some bollocks like that, won't you?
Mate, I could probably never do it because I'm probably about, I don't know, 3 days from losing my house. It's ridiculous.
Well, you'll be able to live in your carport then, won't you?
Yeah. I had to live in my car that's also broken down.
So is it the RAV4? Has the RAV4 gone?
No, the Ford has got no brakes, and I can't find anyone to fix them like quickly, so I've got to do it myself. I really hate doing that shit. It's like -1 yesterday. I'm not doing it in that weather. I'm just not doing it.
Do you want to hear my gas story?
Go on.
I've got an app, right?
Hold on. Cool story, bro. Boring.
Thank you. I've got an app, and it's really, really good. I think I mentioned the podcast before. It's called Octoade. If you're an octopus, it does really good statistics and stuff for you. Yeah? So on the electric, when I got my battery, my solar, and all that, it's a really good way of keeping up with what I'm actually paying for from Octopus, basically. It only works with Octopus. And I use my battery app to see what I've gained and all that. Really good bit of kit. In summer, I don't worry about my gas because I use to heat my hot water, but in winter, obviously, I'm a bit more cautious of it. So we've had the heating chug along, like a lot of people probably have. And I've been like, oh, great, I'm only using about £1.10 a day. Something like that. So I've been chugging the ball along. Found out today, the app's wrong. There's a setting you have to change if you've got a SMETS 1 or a SMETS 2. So the monetary value has been out by 90%. So I've been chugging through £8 worth of gas a day, thinking I'm using £1.10. So just before I came here, that's why I've got this hat on. Because fucking I'm using £8 in gas a day, which is ridiculous. I was thinking, why is everyone moaning about the gas? It's not that bad. No, it is that bad. And it's only going up in it. The energy crisis as it is. I don't know who else said snow today, but we've had our eating on all day and it's cost me £8.
Basically, the whole country's running on gas at the minute, isn't it? It's electric's all gas right now. There's no wind, no solar.
The problem is that I never thought I was going to get a battery. I never thought I was going to get solar. So I did the weighing up and I went, I end up getting it this year. As anyone who follows me will know. Then today I was like, right, what's the fucking crap with these heat pumps? Is it worth me getting one? Should I bother? And now I'm like, oh, is it cheaper than gas? I don't know. Now I've been kicked up the arse. I'm starting to think, oh, maybe an heat pump might be a good idea.
Do you know who's leading the charge on heat pumps, like on social media? Like, I think is Neil Bridgman. Like he's right in it. He's all the way in, balls deep in understanding what's good and what's not about it.
I noticed him giving out some seriously technical arguments of the day, so I understand he's read up on it.
He's fully in. He knows the ones and twos about it all, I reckon. Like knowing Neil, I haven't spoken to him for a little while, but knowing him and how much he loves to get involved, he's busy. He's so
have you done
busy
any, Mark?
Getting involved.
Have you got one, Mark? Or done
I haven't got a heat pump, but I think we're on this journey now where we'll start to see the cult of heat pumps building alongside like the cult of EV.
And with Neil at the top,
thing, isn't
I am the king of heat pumps.
It's good. It's good. Neil's talking in the way he is because he's quite honest, isn't he, as well? He's having those conversations about them being noisy and maybe not as efficient as people say they are and
They're
such.
not, no.
I follow Neil, but I've not seen it like up. I had to do a bit of following.
Yeah, it's more Twitter based. Neil's only on Twitter.
X, come on, get on it. Like, but I've got
I
the
don't know why I
ball.
changed it to X. Twitter was fine.
It's wanking it, but the ball is chugging away now. But I was like, till I get that kick up the arse, don't start thinking about it. Then I think, well, actually, maybe we should look at one, or I don't know if you have to keep your boiler or what. Maybe I'll have to look at something because £8 a day, drinking money that is, taking out of my pocket.
You're never going to save up for your cyber truck if you're paying £8 a day for your gas.
Oh, mate, have you seen it? It's out now.
It's amazing.
Towing that 911. That was a good little video. That was.
Yeah, but what about it though? Like, bulletproof, crash proof. It's got 350-mile range.
Is it bulletproof? Really? I thought,
2 seconds.
Is that not a joke? It's bulletproof.
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 What's the damage on one of these devices?
Well, they start like the free motor one. The all singing, all dancing one starts at $100,000.
Dollars.
Yeah, well, yeah, $100,000. So the and then there's the 2 motor one coming. So you've got the 3 motor one. That's the all singing, all dancing one. Fully spec'd, I think it's like just over $100,000. And then you got the 2 motor one, which is it 70,000, Mark?
Yeah, I think something like that. And there's a single motor one which they've not decided on price and spec of yet.
And yeah, but no one wants that shit one, do they?
They always say that, but it still does like 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. It's not that crap, is it?
It's ridiculous.
Listen, you're driving around in the shittest spec. No one wants that. Like, you just don't want it. I'm sorry.
Like, look at this pauper coming down here, even though you're rocking a 70 grand wagon. You still
listen, it'll easily be 50, 60 grand, like, by the time you've got it. And then, like, you're driving around in a 50, 60 grand car that I'm still not sold on the look of it.
Will I get a roof rack for it? From the ladders?
No, you can get a roof. You can get a back box
like
for
a
it. You know, like
tent, innit? It's like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, you can get like a box for it that's got like can go camping and shit. So I expect quite quickly someone like Truckman will make one for the back of it.
I'm diesel till I die, I think now. I don't think I'll be getting into this electric van market.
How are you getting on with your electric van, funny enough?
Oh yeah, the box got one, has it? Oh,
it was all right. It was all right last week because it was just running around
because it was warm.
Running around locally, and you can charge it up for pretty cheap overnight. But when you're on rapid charges, it costs as much as a diesel, probably more. Now it's winter, the range is virtually nothing.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I know that bombshell.
Yeah, about 170 miles in the summer. It's dropped off to like 130 at the most. So I've lost 40 miles of range. And you know, you're not driving around without your heater on in winter, are you? It's -3 outside.
In Nottingham, the buses, there's a big load of electric buses, right? And I actually wrote to the council about this. It was pissing me off, even though they're bankrupt now, it don't matter, yeah? It says on the side of the bus, and it said, this bus is 100% run on renewable energy. And then it had a fucking diesel heater in it for the heating. So I wrote to them because that's a lie, and they had to take it off the buses because it's a lie.
I bet they love you.
It was fucking bollocks. I went down the bus depot, they took it off. They put this, they changed it to like this bus's driving is 100% renewable. But yeah, they all have diesel heaters because they can't use the batteries, which I thought was hard.
No, so your van is not all it's cracked up to be. Is it not there yet? The problem is, right, and when I've watched quite a lot of videos about the about EVs, not all right, the high spec EVs, but I think I've sort of seen something like across the ranges of them. Your legacy car makers, like everyone who knows what legacy means, it's like the normal car makers, yeah, BMW, Peugeot, all them, right? They know how to make a normal car work very, very well. Tesla aren't even good. Like, in their first, I don't know, 100,000 cars were pretty shit put together.
They bought a car, didn't they? They bought a car and put electrics in it, didn't they, originally?
No, that was the first. That was like they bought a chassis. It was a Lotus chassis.
That's it, Lotus chassis.
Yeah. But what's happened is they've had to catch up in how to build a car first. Well, what they've done is they built the electric drivetrain first and then built a car around it. Whereas the legacy car makers know how to build a car, but they don't know how to build the drivetrain. And the one thing that Tesla are taking the next leap on is the efficiency of the drivetrain and the battery and stuff like that. So all the components, like how smartphones, the Androids used to be way more powerful, but not quite as good as an iPhone, because all the components in an iPhone were built to work with each other. The battery is built to work with the chip was built to work with the memory. Everything works seamlessly. Whereas a lot of the Android phones were like, I would buy a chip from him, we'd buy the memory from him, we'd get a couple of batteries from them, and they put them all in. And although they had better spec, they didn't work as efficiently. And so there's a lot of companies like BMW, and what they're doing is they want to get that 300 mile range. So they'll go and put twice as many batteries as Tesla and say, we've got 300 miles. But their whole drivetrain isn't efficient.
Is this the EV podcast now? Fucking hell. We need to stop.
I've been balls deep in it.
You're right, though. Do you know what sometime the other week? Dyson Hoovers, the turbine in them, if you scaled it up, it's more accurately made than a jet engine. The machining is more precise than a jet engine.
I ain't finished about my EV rant yet.
But
so
no, I'm saying that's
what's happening is if Mark had a Tesla van, it probably wouldn't be as shit, because the drivetrain is way more efficient in all weathers, not just hot weather, cold weather. The whole lot is way more efficient because it's built all in-house. And what Mark's got is a cobbled together van. A Peugeot van.
There's your answer. What happens if
a battery probably bought somewhere in China, a drivetrain probably from a milk float in 1985, and they just put it all together. I watched another one about a drag car, a drag car that used a forklift motor. Burning up everything with a forklift motor.
Mark, what happens if you slam a set of ladders on it? In any weather, does that start cramming it right down, or you don't got a roof rack for it?
Yeah, anything on the roof really does massively hit the range, big time. Weight doesn't seem to bother it. Yeah, if you put anything on the roof, it just kills the range really bad. Weight in the back, it's not that fussed with, but cold weather, crap on the roof, that proper hits the range. And that's when you start having to hit up a rapid charger in the day, and the costs on those work out the same as a diesel, if not slightly worse. So it's one of those. If I can charge it up at home, I get the value from it, and it's worth doing. But if you've got people working for you, who you're employing, you have the issue of paying them for that electric as well, and how you go about doing that in a tax way that's legal. It's not that straightforward. Having spoken to my other half about that, she said, "Oh, that's quite complicated, actually." And then there's all the issues about accessing rapid chargers during the day and paying staff to sit there filling their vans up, because it's not something that they should have to do in their own time. You can't say, "Oh, we'll go get your lunch and charge your van up," or whatever. They might not want to go and take the van to stick on charge because it's their time.
Oh, mate, I'll be constantly out of range. I'll be like, bro, can't go to that job.
If you've got an estate like you're a university department or like a big estate like we have Boots here, they're great for that because you can dock your charge everywhere and plug it in. But for everyone else at the minute, even if you've got like multiple sites, they still don't really work, do they? If you're national.
Nah. I'm like, if you've got a cyber truck, that's great. 300-mile range. And that's if you're towing another car behind it while you're racing a drag car at 100 miles an hour, it still goes 300 miles.
Yeah.
That Peugeot, if I take it at 70 miles an hour down the motorway, that range again, you lose another like 30%. It's just crazy.
Oh, so it's basically made for jobbing around at a university.
50 miles an hour fooling around. As soon as you like go anything like a normal speed on a motorway, your range just starts to fall. It's so depressing. Then you've got to stop for like half an hour and fill back up before you can get home. Or you've got to drive at 50-something mile an hour on the motorway to avoid that.
Mark, what you need
that's
to do,
your life choices at that point.
Mark, I know how you can solve all these problems here. Take all your real life problems that you've actually worked out because you've owned an electric van, drive it and use it for work, put them all on Twitter and people will just tell you how wrong you are. So then you'll be better off. Just go and they go, no, it doesn't work. And they go, no, you're wrong. But I own the van. You're wrong. But I've drove it. You're wrong.
The cult of EV experts who've made themselves a very nice platform to sell advertising through will tell me how I'm.
No, it's not just a ploy to sell advertising, is it?
Well, I don't know, man. I think it's I think that EV is there, but it's not there across all of the manufacturers. One or two are getting it right. The MG EV stuff is really good. So even Elon Musk talks about the Chinese and how they're actually Tesla's biggest competitors. The Chinese are. It's not like the Germans and stuff like that. It's the Chinese.
That's manufactured, isn't it? Like, because no one in Germany is going to be paid enough money to assemble a battery, whereas in China,
no, it's about the technology of efficiency, how to make everything chime together efficiently to get the most out of, like, because a lot of the numbers that come out of these, like the Cybertruck and stuff like that, they're not as high as some of the other numbers. Like when it comes to brake horsepower,
but
stuff
it's
like that.
efficient.
But it's the efficiency of the drivetrain, mate. I've been quite ill this weekend. I've watched a lot of YouTube.
Are you that bored of YouTube now? You have to watch EV car stuff. Are we going to change our name to Electronics Podcast Fully Charged or something like that?
No. It was it's like, because obviously the Cybertruck come out this weekend, so obviously that's quite big news.
So and shooting stuff at it. It's cool.
Yeah,
you'll be mates with Crichton next, won't you?
And then so I've also been watching a lot about well, I have been doing this for ages, is like watching a lot about luxury watches. Don't know why I can't afford I might. I'm looking at. I go straight onto eBay to look at luxury watches that I can't afford.
A quick one before we finish, because obviously this podcast is not electrical for now on. Yeah, what do you watch on YouTube? What's the most luxury watches go on? What's the most thing you watch on YouTube that's most off kilter for people would think you would watch?
I watch Tom Pemberton farming channel sometimes. I think
that is off kilter.
Really interesting. But
Do you
it's
know
nothing at all to do with electrical.
Lathe videos of people using and making things on lathes.
Oh, what with them ones with the
This old Tony. I watched This Old Tony and a guy called
stabilized wood turning.
No, metal turning, rotary CNC as well. I watch anything on old tech like retro.
Have you ever seen CNC Masters where they
yes,
they build a skateboard, they build a front end for a truck, and they work out how to do like 5D milling and stuff. It's amazing.
Anything machine or milling I watch, and then I watch anything to do with Amigas, at times like 8-Bit Guy, Retro Man Cave, anything with old computers on. I love all that shit.
Tom Pemberton basically runs a dairy farm and he's got like 1 million subscribers. And you're just like, we're in the wrong game on YouTube.
He's not been going that long, has he? He's not been going that long, because my mate's a farmer. And I said, you want to do a farm on YouTube? But he'd lap it up. He's like, nah, won't work. Then he was
There's a few big farming channels. There's quite a few. Like Dan's just said, Ollie Blogs, and wagon drivers. He's in there and farming.
I suppose my weirdest one is remote control cars. Like, I've fucking watched so many hours of remote control cars. I don't even own one anymore.
That's the thing is.
Do you know what happens? I'll tell you the story about why I don't own a remote control car.
Because they break, you have to fix it.
No, I don't mind that. That's the fun part of it. What it is, I got one. I was all excited. It's a short course truck, all singing, all dancing. I was so happy with it, right? I went to the car park and I'm playing with it in the car park. And I just felt like a fucking weirdo playing with a toy in the car park.
That's why I have to have a shed.
And like it done like 50, 60 miles an hour. It's winging along. And I'm like, wow, that's really good. And then some old people come on looking at me like, what are you doing? And then someone's there with their like 6-year-old kid watching it. And I'm like, and you just feel a bit odd. And I was just like, I'm going home. This is shit.
I could never buy a lathe now, because then I'd have to find something. I quite like the idea of watching something and learning something about something that I'm never going to do. So I don't want to buy a lathe, because then I have to find something else to watch and learn about that I'm never going to do. And I quite like the lathe one and the CNC one.
Listen, we're getting absolute smashed by people. What the fuck is this? Listen, it's the end of the podcast is what it is. I've come through the podcast again when I'm ill. Hopefully I won't have to go to hospital for 6 days this time.
This is just the preamble, isn't it? Because we have to get out of the thing. But yeah, if just before we go, because I guess there's something to wrap it up. The podcast number, if you're just about to tune out now, is 07492 330 042. That'll be in the chat. Anyone got anything for the categories? Let us know. It is up this week.
Awesome. And anyone in the chat or anyone who watches this week, tune in live next week. There's going to be a big one.
So it's
going to be a big one. We're going to be giving away loads of stuff, because I'm going to make that happen for the winners. And I think it'd be quite interesting to see who we have decided are the bollocks and who are not the bollocks.
And if you want to sway us, get your comments in with your suggestions as well, especially in the bell end category. because I basically thought of that one myself, thinking of Sam and Jamie. So
But
get
we
your
can't win.
suggestions
We
in.
can't win. We can't win.
I did enjoy seeing some suggestions in that comments earlier. There's some particularly good ones in there.
So join us next week. Electricians
For the
Podcast.
first annual Electricians Podcast Awards for being a bell end. Simpsons copyright.
We out.
The first annual Electricians Podcast Award for